Let me tell you this, when you study church history, you will read where the church started making a mistake. And I will tell you where that came from. When Emperor Nero was one of the vicious emperors that persecuted the church, historically speaking, right? At that time, if you were born again, you would not even last up to 72 hours. So other aspects of the kingdom were not the interest of people. It was just to stay. Martyrdom was all that they looked at. Now, when Emperor Constantine came, and the war that was fought with the sign of the cross, and he brought victory by reason of the dream and the vision he had, he now allowed the worship of God freely. The believers who were now saved, because all those who mentored them had died, they didn't know what to do with their remaining lives now that they were not martyred again. So it started bringing all kinds of versions of imbalances. A few people among them said, listen, we can't sit here and die like this. We have children, we have needs. And they broke out. And when you read the church, it was one move. Every move you call from the Protestants, the Puritans, it was a detection of imbalance in another move. Let us be careful so that we don't clap for ourselves too early. Our children will edit our scripts. Our assignment is not to do everything, but our assignment is not to stop what God is doing because of our biases and our prejudices. I truly believe with all my heart that God allowed His Majesty to come and judges and people scattered here to be able to teach you something about this message. Remember what I have said. When it is the ministry of prayer, if you say you are a businessman, you spoke nonsense. Because a businessman is first a priest before a king. Are we together? When it has to do with the worship of the king, all of us bow. Even Nebuchadnezzar was smarter. He knew. He said, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, I don't care who you are, bow to that image. The highest royalty, I cast my crown before the highest royalty. So there is a meeting point where businessmen, apostles, prophets, teachers, are we together? Professors, presidents, governments, heads of corporations, billionaires in all kinds of currency. There is a central point of convergence. That is before the king. When we come before the king, you don't come as a professor. That's why you take your golden crown. Your crown defines your jurisdiction of dominion. You take it because it does not matter again. When you are before the king, you cannot be a king. Are we together? So you are a king in the judiciary. You are a king in business. You are a king even in the practice of priesthood. But when we stand before him, I don't want to know who you are again. There is only one that commands our attention. So we cast our crowns before. Hold on. Your first assignment is to have a crown. Your real worship is not your falling down. Your real worship is that your crown worships first. So by the time you stand before him without a crown, he says, what happened? I said you are kings. Where is the crown for being an influential person in the judiciary? There's nothing to cast. Esther, where is your crown? The anointing didn't come for you to heal the sick. It came to take you to the palace. Esther, there is a roll call of worship in heaven. I do not see the crown of Esther. So when we stand to worship him, Elijah stands with his prophetic crown. Daniel stands with his governmental crown. Joseph stands with his economic crown. Are we together? Ruth, Naomi, all of them. And together we cast our crowns before. Now you understand the song. The highest royalty, I am undone before your glorious majesty. He's the King of kings and Lord. of lords. You are the King of kings. Listen, you understand the song now? When you are getting your crown, it is because one day you will cast it before him. So when you stand before him, you will say, I am a professor. Lord, I did well. I stood to represent your purposes in the educational sector, but I am still a priest. So as Elijah kneels down, the professor kneels too. The doctor kneels too. I have become a consultant surgeon. Through my expertise, I have set up hospitals today, and by the privilege of God's grace, I have advanced the purposes of the kingdom. O King, here is my report. The king bows to the King of Kings. That's what Daniel saw. Daniel did not see weak men. Read the vision of Daniel. Daniel saw kings bowing to the king.